The one thing holding you back from reaching your dream physique is you. That's going to sound harsh, but it's not just you, it's me as well. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but getting lean is a mental battle way more than it is a physical battle. And the things that I'm going to talk about in this video, no matter how difficult they may seem mentally, are things that we just need to get real with ourselves about if we're ever going to get the physique that we want. And so in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 ways that you're your own worst enemy when it comes to fat loss and what to do about it. Now, the first reason is going to be an unwillingness to give up certain foods. Now, we all know that it's calories in, calories out, which means that technically you can lose weight no matter what you eat. But you also know that if you fill all of your calories with Haagen-Dazs and chocolate bars, then you're just going to end up looking like a skinnier version of yourself rather than the muscular, lean person that you want to be. So because we know that it's calories in, calories out, a lot of times what happens is that we keep foods around the house that we know we can't control ourselves around. Because during the day when your willpower is high, you think that you won't succumb to temptation later on. The reality is at some point in your diet, willpower is going to be low, temptation is going to be high, and what are you going to do? You're going to go eat them. And I'm guilty of this myself. I know that I don't do very well around chocolate, and yet when I'm on a dieting phase, I do find myself going to the grocery store and still getting a chocolate bar time after time. Now, I'm not saying that there's something inherently wrong with having a treat on your diet. In fact, I'm a proponent of saving 300 to 400 calories at the end of the day for some sort of treat so that you never feel restricted. But what I am saying is that it's a bad pattern of behavior to know that you can't control yourself around a certain food and yet to bring it into the house when you know that you're on a diet. So what I've started doing, and what I suggest that you start doing as well, is start thinking about your future self. Before you go buy something, think to yourself, how is future me going to feel about this decision? Is this going to be something that I'm proud to tell my friends about, or is this something that I'm going to be proud of myself for? So all this is a long way of saying, stop keeping foods around the house that you know you can't control yourself around, and you'll find that it's a lot easier to stick to your diet. Mistake number 2 is going to be ignoring food sensitivities. When we are allergic to foods, it actually creates a release of serotonin and adrenaline in the brain. So it's almost like this drug-like effect where we can self-medicate ourselves and feel a lot better. Oftentimes when we're on our diet, our mood may be not as great, and so we're more tempted to have these foods so that we can get that rush. But in the same way that we get these feel-good chemicals, we also experience a rise in cortisol. And so when you eat those foods, even though they might make you feel better, they will actually be more likely to be stored as fat because cortisol increases the amount of calories that go towards fat and it increases muscle breakdown. So again, if you're allergic to a food or you know that you're sensitive to it and you love eating it, you have to think to yourself, how is future me going to feel about this, and am I going to be proud of the body composition that I have if I eat this food? What I really suggest is that you find better ways to get your dopamine. Maybe you love cars, maybe you can go work on your car or go to the track, maybe you like puzzles, maybe you like running, but find an outlet that isn't food related. I did a food sensitivity test on myself and I found out that I was actually allergic to a lot of healthy foods that were actually messing up my diet. So this isn't just about unhealthy foods, this is also related to healthy foods that could be unhealthy for you. Now, if you want to learn more about why we eat things that we're allergic to, what my food sensitivity results were, and where you can order a food sensitivity test of your own, then go ahead and click the link on screen. Now, mistake number 3 is binging on the weekend. I think so many of us do this, but I think that we know intrinsically that this is really creating an unhealthy relationship with food. Because in the back of your head, you know that you're not committed to this lifestyle. What you're doing is you're eating super clean on the weekdays to a point that it's unsustainable, and you're going completely off the rails on the weekends, which just isn't going to get you the body composition that you want. The best way to give your dream physique is to keep nutrition consistent. No crazy highs, no crazy lows. Relatively consistent nutrition, I have found, is the best way to keep your body lean over time. I know that we all love to see The Rock's cheat meals whenever he's eating those crazy things every single Sunday. He's got like these huge stacks of pancakes or the sushi train that rolls on every week, and it looks really fun. But are you The Rock? If you are the average Joe and you are trying to emulate that lifestyle, you will find that you can actually undo an entire week's worth of progress in just one meal. Even eating one meal of The Rock's every single Sunday, I can guarantee for the average person will completely throw off any deficit that you had throughout the week. Unless you were completely starving yourself, there is no way that that deficit is worthwhile even one crazy cheat meal. If you're going to cheat on the weekends, you just need to have a small treat that you've been saving up for or something like that. You need to get real with yourself and accept that you're in this diet for the long haul. And if you're finding that it's pretty much impossible to get locked in, then you really need to consider whether this diet or lifestyle is sustainable and maybe try a different approach. Reason number 4 that you're your own worst enemy when it comes to fat loss is doing if it fits your macros. I know everyone loves if it fits your macros because it technically means that you can eat whatever you want and still lose weight. But the question comes down to how well can you control these foods? If you are just going through your day, eating random meals at restaurants and just looking at the calorie numbers and eyeballing that, you don't know how much protein is in that, you're probably getting more calories than you think you are, and you're probably overdoing it on fat, which is the easiest macronutrient to actually convert to fat. So you're really creating a lot of problems. On top of that, foods at restaurants are highly palatable, so you're less likely to be able to detect when you're actually full. Or even if you are full, you're probably going to end up eating a lot more. This is something that I suffered from personally for years. I would starve myself the entire day. I would do crazy amounts of working out, gymnastics and running, and I would say, okay, now I'm going to eat 2,000 calories. And I would go to Cane's Fried Chicken and I would have a 2,000 calorie box of fried chicken. Now, not only was that detrimental to my body composition and my performance, but I found that I could never stop eating and I could never get full. I was hungry, I was miserable, my body composition wasn't where I wanted it, and I wasn't even losing weight because the calories were so off from what I thought they were. So if you're someone who's doing if it fits your macros right now and you're not seeing progress, then I highly suggest that you stick to a more structured style of eating that focuses on protein and whole foods. I can almost guarantee that your physique is going to improve a lot quicker and to a lot better extent than it currently is. Now real quick, I know that a lot of you guys watching this video are not subscribed, so if you haven't already, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you can stay up to date when I post new content. I post a new video every single Thursday and you don't want to miss it. You can also click the link in the description to get my free cheat sheet to help you stay lean when you're eating out at restaurants. And you can subscribe to my newsletter, Valhalla Lifestyle, where I'll be giving you fitness tips, diet hacks, and motivational content to help you reach your dream physique. And the last reason that you are your own worst enemy when it comes to fat loss is stress management. I think this is the biggest way that we torture ourselves as modern humans, whether it's stress from work, a lack of sleep, or a lack of recovery in general. I find that we are often so disconnected from our regular cues because of our stress that we don't even take time to think why we're doing things. Maybe you're eating for emotional reasons, or maybe you're going to the gym for emotional reasons. But I think it's a completely neglected reason why people cannot stick to their diet plans or they cannot stick to their gym plans. If you're someone who's struggling with a ton of stress, or maybe you have anxiety around tracking meals, around creating meals, maybe you have some unresolved gym anxiety, these are all things that you actually need to seek help for because they're holding you back on your fitness journey. You don't have to be an island and you don't have to do it all yourself. It's okay to ask for help from someone who's more experienced or maybe have a coach who can guide you, but it's not worth trying to do everything yourself only to have it fail in the end. On the other hand, if you're not having any anxiety or any stress like that, but you're not prioritizing your rest and recovery, then you need to focus on that, because if you're not rested and you're not recovered, then you're just not going to see the muscle gains that you want. One thing that I had to realize when I was working over 140 hours a week is that we are not robots. We cannot work 24/7, still train hard, still be in a calorie deficit, and perform our best and recover. It's just not going to happen. So if you are someone who's working a lot or you have a lot of familial obligations, then you maybe need to focus on setting some boundaries or setting some time for yourself to rest and recover, because overstressing yourself is a great way to ruin an excellent diet and training plan. So comment down below, did you find this video helpful? Is there anything else that you'd like me to discuss? And as always, if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you. Please don't stop now. Go ahead and watch one of the 2 videos that'll come up on screen. I hope this video has helped you shift your mindset a little bit around your diet, and I'll see you in the next video.